Welcome to the online class. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you were healthy and hearty by the grace of Almighty Allah. Our today's topic is transformation of sentence. Before starting, I want to share that we will change the structure only here. We can't change the meaning. Remember, this is very important for you people. Listen carefully. We will change the structure only. We can't change the meaning. And one thing, to transform the sentence, you have to be very careful about tense. Let's start. There are three kinds of sentences according to the structures. What are these? These are simple sentence, complex, and compound. Now the question is how we will identify these sentences. Let's see the salient features of these sentences. In simple sentence, we will get one clause and one subject and one finite verb. On the other hand, in complex sentence, we will get one main clause, at the same time one or more subordinate clauses. What about compound sentence? Here we will get more than one main clause, and that will be joined by conjunctions. Remember, that will be joined by conjunctions. What are these? It can be and, but, or whatever it is. Now one question might come in your mind that what is clause, what is subordinate clause, what is principal clause, what is finite verb, non-finite verb, blah blah blah, right? So let's start with clause. First of all, what is clause? A clause is a group of words having a subject and a predicate of its own, but it acts as a part of a greater sentence. Clear? It's a part of a greater sentence. Now there are two types of clauses. First one is principal clause and second one is subordinate clause or supporting clause. What is principal clause? The clause which is not dependent on other clause. That means it can give you the full meaning without the help of other clause. That is principal clause. And what is subordinate clause? Subordinate clause is not able to express the full meaning without the help of principal clause. So let's read the line again. Everybody likes him because he is very simple. Here, if I put full stop here, that everybody likes him, it will give you a full meaning, right? So it is principal clause. But if I say because he is very simple, only if I say only because he is very simple, it won't give you any kind of meaning. I mean, it can't express the meaning properly, right? So you have understood. Now the finite versus non-finite. Let's read the line. I want to go to school. Here we have two verbs. One is want and another is to go. Here want is finite verb and to go is non-finite. Why? If I put a full stop here, I want, it can give you the meaning, right? I want. But it can be a sentence also, right? But if I say I to go, will you give it? Will it, do you think it is giving something, some proper meaning? I don't think so, right? It can't be a sentence, I to go. That's why we can say that want is finite verb and to go is non-finite. We can't use a non-finite verb without the help of finite verb. Remember, my dear students, this concept is very important, right? If you are not clear about the structure, if you are not clear about the structure of the sentences, then it will be very difficult for you to transform the sentences. Now I am get back to the previous sheet again. That simple sentence has one clause, one subject and one finite verb. Now all of you know what is clause and what is subordinate clause or principal clause. And complex sentence has one main clause, one or more subordinate clause, and compound sentence has more than one main clause and that will be joined by conjunctions. Now let's start simple, complex and compound. This is our first rule. Sometimes we get 2 plus NFP, that is non-finite verb, in the simple sentence. Here we have to transform it into complex. How? We will use so that, and to make it compound we will use and or. Now let's read the sentence. The simple sentence is we read to learn. Here read is a finite verb and to learn is non-finite. What will be the complex? We have to use so that. So we read so that we can learn. What will be the compound one? We read and learn. Now you can ask, there is only a verb after the conjunction. Where is the another clause, right? Here we can put a we also, but we keep it silent here, right? We don't need to use we for 2 times. We can use it already at the very beginning of the sentence. That's why we keep it silent here. Now there is a quiz for you. Take a screenshot and do it after the class. This is the answer. This is our second rule. Sometimes we get in spite of or despite in simple sentence. To make it complex, we have to use though or although, and to make it compound, we have to use but. Now one thing you must need to remember, that is after in spite we can put of, but we cannot put of after despite. Okay, so we can say in spite of, but we can't say despite of. We can say in spite of, but we can't say despite of. Now read the sentence. In spite of his sincerity, he could not succeed. Here at the very beginning we have to identify the tense. How we can identify the tense? We can identify the tense by observing verb. Here the verb is in the past form. That is why we can say this is a sentence which is based on past tense. Okay, now what will be the complex sentence? To make it complex, we have to use though. Though he was sincere, he could not succeed. Now tell me why we use here was instead of is. Because the given sentence is based on past tense. That is why we have to use V2 here. Okay? Now the compound sentence. He was sincere but could not succeed. He was sincere but could not succeed. Here we have added 2 clauses by what? By conjunction. Is it clear? Okay, this is the quiz for you. Take a screenshot. And this is the answer of the quiz. Okay. You will practice the quiz after the class. Okay. Now rule number 3. Sometimes we get the ing form in the simple sentence at the very beginning of the sentence. For example, getting the money, he became glad. In this case, we have to make it complex by using since or as, and we have to make it compound by using and so. Remember, what does tell me? Can anyone tell me that what does can and so mean? And so means causality. That means the reason. So let's read the line again. Getting the money, he became glad. Then what will be the complex? Since he got the money, he became glad. Since he got the money. Why we use got? Because the first sentence is based on past tense. He became glad. That is why we have to use since he got the money, he became glad. Now, the compound one. He got the money and so he became glad. He got the money and so he became glad. And so means he got the money, that is why he became glad. This is the reason he got the money, right? So we cannot say he got the money and he became glad. We have to say he got the money and so he became glad. Is it clear, my dear? Okay, this is quiz number 3. Take a screenshot. Okay, this is the answer. That's all for today's class. The next part will be discussed in the next class. Thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum.